Dust off your boots and your 10-gallon hat, because we're heading to the Wild West. Our next stop is Dolores, Colorado. For Rocky Mountain luxury, Telluride is the place to be seen. But if you're looking for something a little more unique, just a short drive across the mountain takes you to Dunton, an abandoned copper mine with amenities that rival any high-end spa.
Welcome to Dunton Hot Springs in Dolores, Colorado.
We dare you to spend a night in this Colorado ghost town, where the hot springs run as deep as the history.
We're standing in an abandoned mining town that was established in 1885, deserted in 1918, and then purchased by our owners in 1994. The owners really wanted to preserve this special valley, this area, so they took 7 years to do the restoration. They've tried to keep everything as authentic and original as possible, and now it operates as a resort to the public.
Dunton has a total of 12 cabins on its property, with different themes to make them stand out. The town can sleep up to 42 guests at a time.
We've had guests that drive up and they're a little freaked out by the exterior of the cabins because it has been kept as authentic as possible. So it looks like you're stepping back into the 1800s. Here we are at Major Ross Cabin. This is one of 12 unique cabins in town. All are decorated differently. They are authentic to the town. These are the cabins that the miners either lived in or used as their stores or forges. In this cabin, there's a wood-burning stove, a collection of long guns, but probably the most unique feature is the deerskin bedspread, and you can actually see the bullet holes where the deers had been shot. This is our forge cabin. This would have been the forge for the town where they did the metal work. In this cabin, the ceiling height has actually been raised. The roof would have only come to this level. That's because people were shorter at that time, and also to help keep heat in the buildings. Now we're in Well House, which is our most requested cabin, and the reason it's most requested is this copper tub in the middle of the room. You pull the valve, and it actually pulls water directly from the source, which is flowing in at about 103 degrees. It does have a cold plunge over in the corner, so you can go from hot to cold. This is Bjorkman's cabin. It's actually named for the miner who built it, and we have had guests say that they've heard noises, had some eerie things happen. So in our little ghost town, we make the assumption that this cabin is haunted. Vertical log is actually one of our owners' favorites. It's constructed of vertical cottonwood timbers, which makes it unique to the other cabins on the property. This cabin is actually made up of two cabins put together. It's one of our most modern cabins on property as far as its aesthetics. This was salvaged from the brothel that was in town. Unfortunately, the brothel couldn't be saved, but it has been plumbed in. It's on wheels where they had moved it from room to room. It now has been completely disinfected, and guests can enjoy this tub for themselves. So this is our hot springs, the bathhouse. This really is the pinnacle of the resort. The water contains magnesium and iron. The iron creates the kind of orange rusty color, and then there's a sheen on top of the water from the magnesium. The water will flow through the bathhouse in about 4 to 5 hours, so it's not sitting stagnant, and it stays at about 103 to 104 degrees.
The elements not only give the water a unique color, they help exfoliate your skin and relax your muscles. It's like having your own personal spa.
We do have a cold plunge, so you can again go from hot to cold. The building was here when the miners lived in town. You'll note some of the signatures on the walls. There's even one here dated 1920. There are several ghost stories about Dunton that have circulated around town, and probably most recently there were some guests on property that saw the reflection of a face in the window, although no one was in the bathhouse. This is one of our outdoor pools. Guests love to come into this pool, which is about 4 to 5 feet deep. In the winter, 4 feet of snow on the ground, relax in the hot water and look at the stars.
The Saloon was always one of the most important gathering places in any Old West town, and here at Dunton, it's not any different.
Before we go inside, I want to point out some of these artifacts. These things were found on property during the restoration process. We've put them out here on display so guests can see a little taste of what life was like. Here in the saloon, we have our communal dining area, lounge, and then the bar is over here. Here in the bar, everything is from the late 1800s. The bar top itself is original to the town of Dunton, and one of our favorite stories to tell is about Butch Cassidy. He robbed the bank in Telluride in 1898, rode across the mountain, hid out here in Dunton, and actually carved his name in the bar top while he was here. Dunton is really set apart from other dude ranches or western properties because there's not this kitschy movie set feeling here. You really get an authentic sense of history. The cabins range anywhere from $550 per night up to $1,800 per night. You can rent the entire town of Dunton. It runs from $16,500 per night up to $22,500 per night in peak season. Basically, you become the sheriff. It's your town to do whatever you'd like with. So that's Dunton Hot Springs, our 19th century ghost town, where you can rent a cabin or the entire town. We hope you'll come see us.